there it is. How is it already the last major of the year? I love this major. I love the novelty of it being in the middle of the night, but I got to tell you, I'm a little sad that the major season is coming to an end, and then everybody's going to switch to football, and PGA is going to become the poster child again. Makes me real sad. But you know what? I'm going to live in the moment. We're going to take it in one more week. We have one more week of golf being the king. What's up, new guy? I'm the Degenerate75. I'm a PGA DFS content creator who is here to help you get a little bit better at PGA DFS. If you don't know, this shit be real tough, and you're doing so many things wrong that you don't even know. If you have just found my station, just know this up front. I'm not a guy that gives picks. I'm going to walk you through the theory of everything, and you're going to make your own decisions. You're going to put on your own little big gip bands and make your own little lineups, right? If that sounds cool, I encourage you to hang around and check this out. If you really like the cut of my jib, come check out that schedule right there. Next week is quite the week. You are, of course, watching this. Well, I'm putting this out right now on a Saturday before the Open Championship. And then tomorrow, I will be putting out my DGen75 Talks Golf with Smart People. And I'm having on Tom Jacobs because I needed somebody bloody British on to talk Open Championship, lad, all right? And then, of course, I will be doing the emergency stream, 7 o'clock, Lord's time zone, on Wednesday. Yes, I know that puts us right all the way up into the point of lock. I don't give a shit. Be there. I will be doing the Showdown Hoedown, the flagship of my station, Tuesday. Tuesday. Thursday for round 2. That's what I was trying to say. Round Tuesday. There you go. Round 3 on Friday and round 4 on Saturday, right? And then there is going to be a Sunday sweat. If you remember, me and Sia did it for the U.S. Open. People loved it. We will not have Sia this time, sadly, but I will have a guest. We will be doing it. So if you get tired of the shitty golf coverage and listening to these announcers mush all your golfers, he could never miss this putt. He's rolling in everything today. Okay, shut the fuck up, guy who wants to mush my golfers. Then come check that out, okay? Also, giving away a lot of money because you need to know, new guy, I'm not a poor, and I will be giving away over $1,000 in lineups that you will not only get to, you're going to get a free lineup, you're going to get to build them with me, and we will split the profits 50-50, and I don't suck at this stuff. I really don't. If you want to be in that drawing, simply do this. Subscribe, like, and leave a comment telling me who is your favorite play this week for the Open Championship. Once you leave a comment in there and I like it, that will get you in the drawing. We'll be doing that Wednesday, so make sure to hop in there, okay? You ready? Let's get going. They are playing the Open Championship, and it is at Royal Liverpool, right? Royal Liverpool is what we used to know as Hoylake, right? But we haven't seen it since 2014. In 2014, that was the last time Rory won. I think that's the last time he won a major, period. Guy's a loser, although he might win the Scottish. Fuck him. So, what do we want to know about this course? Well, 2006, Tiger won it famously by only using a driver, I think legit 2 shots out of 72 holes, right? So, it was a firm, fast, baked-out course back in 2006, and we saw the same thing in 2014. The winning scores both times got between -14 and -18. But the important thing to remember is back then it was a par 72. This year it is only going to be a par 71. Most famously, the 10th hole, which was Cupcake City, it was basically a free bird, is now arguably going to be the toughest hole on the course, as it is going to be a par 4 instead of a par 5, right? A 507-yard par 4, right? With out of bounds running all up the left. That is a big thing about this course that I think that is the first thing we have to lead with, is there is 6 internal inbounds on this course, right? If you don't know what that means like they're just right off the edge of the course, all right? It's not like you like fucking hit it over the trees over there, right? There's little stone walls, and it goes right there, and if you hit it over it, you're OB. So there could be some guys that if you get a little wayward off the tee, it is not going to be a fun week for you, right? So as much as I may love a Cam Smith or somebody like that, if they're spraying it off the tee, say hit the gullah, another guy that loves to spray it off the tee, they're gonna be crooked numbers all over their scorecard, and that is not what you want in an Open Championship, right? That's the first big takeaway that I would say is you're gonna want guys. Of course, distance is gonna matter, but if you have to choose accuracy or distance, you cannot have guys who spray it. Ideally, you'd like to have both because some of these holes are very, very long and difficult, right? Of the par 5s, really only one of them is a cupcake. The par 5 fifth is pretty easy. At 520 yards, I think almost everybody will get there in 2. But what they did is they added quite a bit of distance to the other 2 par 5s, making them truly 3-shot holes for short hitters or even medium hitters. Only the longest of long hitters are going to be able to get there on the 15th and the 18th, and both of them coming in at over 600 yards. So the scoring this week does not seem as though it's going to get done on the par 5s, right? Outside of hole number 5, but I think everybody is going to be able to get there pretty easily in 2. The par 3s are a little tricky as well. 3 of them come in right at 200 yards, okay? So not short ones. And the one that is short, the 17th, is a brand new hole that they just put in. This hole was not there in the 2014 Open Championship. And you just see 136 yards. You're like, oh, a free little wedge shot for a birdie. No, it is a pretty damn diabolical hole, right? It reminds me a lot of the 12th hole at Augusta. It does not appear to be intimidating, and then you go play it, and you're like, why is everybody bogey this damn hole? Now, of course, it will be rewarded as a short shot. If you stick it close, you will get birdies. But there is going to be guys making 4s and 5s on a quote-unquote easy par 3. So this course is going to have more teeth than you think. The other thing that I really would focus on is this is not going to be a PGA Championship US Open style course where you have that big, thick rough around the greens. All of these green complexes are raised, and they have runoff areas all around them. The elevated greens make it tough, and you're going to have very tight lies chipping up there, right? So those guys that are good out of playing out of thick rough, that is not going to be what they're going to be doing here. I think you're even going to see some guys bust out the old Texas wedge and putt up the sides of these elevated faces to avoid playing some of these tight lies. The course overall is a very flat course. It's literally right there on the coast. It's a link style course, just like all the other Open Championship courses we mainly see. Well, not all of them, but a lot of them. If you've been watching the Scottish Open, I think it's going to be very comparable to that. You're going to have the deep pop bunkers that if you land in them with the revetted faces, you're basically fucked and you're hitting out sideways. Unless you're Victor Hovland or Sam Burns, you just smash it right into the face of it and say, huh, I didn't know there was such thing as geometry in this world. Okay, but for most people, it's going to be a sideways hit out or a wedge straight up in the air and maybe advance at 30 or 40 yards, right? So avoiding those is going to be tough. You're also going to hear this word a lot this week, gorse, right? You know, what was it? The U.S. Open, we kept hearing Barranca. This week, it's going to be the gorse. They're these really thick bushes that just set off to each side of the fairway, right? You have the fescue grass, which we've seen this week at the Scottish Open. Guys can usually play out of, right? They can usually hack it out and advance it pretty far. But if you get in these gorse bushes, it is 100% you're taking a penalty and getting you're going to have to drop because you are not playing out of them. They're big, thick bushes, and if you get a little wayward off the tee, you can A, go out of bounds, or B, get in the gorse, and either way, yo ass is grass. This is why I'm really valuing guys that have got to be accurate off the tee. That's why I think you're going to see a guy like Colin Morikawa be so popular this week because people are going to feel comfortable with his off-the-tee game, right? He just doesn't get himself in a lot of trouble, and at this course, the biggest place you can put up bad numbers is off the tee, right? From there, a lot of the rest of the course is your typical par 4s, longer par 4s that are going to be difficult with some dog legs in there. It's going to be a lot of probably 175 to 200 yard plus type shots coming in, and you're going to see a slightly higher driving accuracy, but that's going to be because a lot of guys are going to be clubbing down and have longer second shots in. You're going to see a slightly lower greens in regulation than what you would expect to see on the tour, but here's the really telling stat. It's the scrambling percentage around here. I told you with those tight lies and those elevated greens, that is a big protection this course has. If you cannot scramble your balls off around these greens and you are not good from tight lies, I think that this course, you're going to see a lot of bogeys from guys. So those guys that are really, really good around the green and who can play those clever shots around the green, I like. And then, of course, anytime you're at a link style course, I always want to have those creative style players, whether that's a Justin Thomas, a Jordan Spieth, a Cam Smith, guys like that, guys who aren't TrackMan golfers, right? Not your, Victor Hovland is a TrackMan golfer, right? Bryson DeChambeau, rest in peace, was a TrackMan golfer, right? I want some creativity to my guys' games. I think that's really going to pay off around here. And lastly, we got fescue greens. And with fescue greens, like we've seen this week at the Scottish Open, they are going to be slow. So I think that guys who putt well on slow greens are going to matter. Let me look down. Make sure there's nothing I forgot. The last thing I would probably want to say is that good players have always seemed to win at this tournament. I mean, it's the who's who of who's won at this tournament. So if you're a guy that's betting this week, I think you take the good players, right? I would just say Scotty or Rory or Rahm is going to win this damn tournament, right? They all hit it long and straight off the tee, and they can all scramble their balls off. So if I would almost take one of those three over almost everybody else. Good players win. I don't think there's any chance you're going to see a dark horse win. And if you made me pick the winning score, I think a lot of people this week are saying that it will probably be in the upper teens. I'm going to go a little bit different. I'm going to say that the winning score is going to be more around -12, all right? It's not going to be U.S. Open, PGA Championship carnage. But the reason I say that is, A, they have made this course a little bit tougher by lengthening those par 5s, changing the par 4 10th, and making that new 17th hole. And the bigger thing is if you look, the course is going to be a little softer this week, which is going to encourage people to bust out driver more. A softer course, you're not going to get the run out in the greens. And the more drivers, if you don't know, you spray drivers a lot more than any club. So I think you're going to see some guys getting in trouble off the tee using too much driver. But what really is telling is this wind. It looks like Thursday and Friday, early projections. Yes, it is still 5-6 days out, so it can be a little wonky looking at this, but I think it's safe to say with a link-style coastal course, we are going to see wind, right? So with that in mind, I think that I think that the score might be a little bit tougher than people are anticipating, right? And when the score gets tougher, what always happens, the better the cream of the crop rises. The better players rise to the top. And so early feelings, I'm going to go -12 as the winning score. And I think that there will be, not true carnage, but I think you're going to see some good players miss the cut, right? All right, let's go over and talk about some contest selection. But before we do, make sure you like and subscribe. Tell a friend. Me and the editor, just two independent fucks. We never put any ads on our videos. All we ask in return is you like, subscribe, and this week, of course, leave a comment because that will get you in the drawing. We appreciate every single one of you. Couldn't do it without you. All right, looking at the contest, which I don't even have up because I'm an unprepared slapdick. Classic. Open. Let's go talk about the contest. As always, they have the big Millie Makers this week. And with the Millie Maker, you just always got to ask yourself this. Do you want to play for a dream or do you want to play to not have to deposit on DraftKings every week? It's that simple. If you don't mind putting your $100 into DraftKings every week or every month or how often you play, go play the Millionaire Maker. I don't give a shit what you do with your money. But if you're one of those people who's like, man, I could never win that DraftKings, well, that's because you're playing in stupid-ass tournaments like this. If you enter this, the very best players that enter this, maybe 3% of them will have winning weeks playing in this. It is a huge negative EV tournament. Outside of finishing in the 99.999 percentile, you're not going to make any money on this tournament. So instead of putting your money into this, go put it in real tournaments where you have a shot. Tournaments that where you can have the same number of entries as everybody else. All right? I know, I want $1 million too, but you're not going to win, so don't worry about it. They have another Millionaire Maker, which, you should definitely never play in this unless you've already won a ticket. If you want to play in some satellites to get it, you can, but you're running out of time for that, Bob. After that, at the majors, you always got to remember that the contests just tend to be juicier, so many more people coming in, and the payout structures tend to be great. I typically love the snowman, but when you see 25% going to first, I don't love that because what ends up happening is now 10th place is only, 128th of first, right? If I finish 10th place in the snowman, I want more than $7,000, right? That's not even 10x my money. So that becomes out of the way. Then you go look at something like Drive the Green. Look at this bad boy. Only 8% of the money in this pool, $600,000 prize pool, only 8% goes to first. That's awesome. That is awesome. Second place, half of first. That is awesome. 10th place, 125th. Not bad. But here's what you got to ask yourself. Can I really beat 142,000 people? The answer to that is probably no, okay? And if you're going to do it, do me. If you're going to play in this contest, you got to do me this favor. Don't go put 5 lineups in it. Don't go put 10. Put a minimum of 50, and honestly, if you're going to play in it, you should be maxing it and doing 150. That's why it's an MME. The best thing you can do is go check out these single entries, man. These single entries are where it's at. If you're going to play $100 this week, you'd be so much better going and putting it in this $100 single entry. Or they have multiple $100 single entries. Don't play in the one with 1,600 people. Go play in the one with 277 people. And you'll have a real chance that if you get a 6 of 6 through, you pick the winner. You'll have a very real chance of winning that because you won't have to have the nuts lineup, right? Matter of fact, you might be able to win it with a 5 of 6 because there's so few people. Get in these contests where a really good lineup can win you a GPP. Because a really good lineup in the big Millionaire Maker is going to get you 378th place for like $100 maybe, okay? You're never going to get there. Whereas that exact same lineup would have took down every other single entry, right? You're like, but those cost more. Okay, well, they cost more, but you're also, instead of throwing 4 into that, go do one of these $100 single entries. Look, they got all kinds of them. Look how good this is. 166 people. I mean, that's just such a more realistic thing. And you're like, oh, but it's only first place $2,500. You shut your mouth. If you win $2,500, the police will get called because your ass would be dancing naked in the streets. Don't lie, new guy. Don't lie. All right. From there, there's just it's always, if you want to play cash, that's always something you can do to diversify your portfolio, as some people like to call it. But for me, I like to just get into contests with really good payout structures, right? Contests that I'm going to max enter. The 3 maxes, the 4 maxes, the single entries at these things. I end up playing way too much money at these majors simply because the contests are just so good, right? If we had these contests at Showdown, I would literally never play week-long again. But we don't. We have them at week-long, and that's where they're awesome. And let's face it, week-long's fun, right? So there you go. That is the breakdown on contest selection this week. Get into contests that you can play in, that have good payout structures, that that you don't have to hit the absolute stone cold nuts to hit, and quit dreaming about winning $1 million and start dreaming about not being a fucking deposit king. How about that, dude? But of course, the one contest you should be in is mine. Go get in it right now. 1,500 spots. I've only been doing this for like 2 months. These contests, I'm a little nervous at 1,500. You better help me get it filled. It is a $5 3 max. Get in there. Reserve your spots now. I don't want to be sweating my nuts off on Wednesday, hoping this thing gets filled. It is a flat payout structure. It has reduced rake, and you'll get a shout out from me. And if you finish in the top 5, a free month on my website. Go get in this. The Showdown Hoedown Listener League. It is fun. It is awesome. It is a great structure. And if you're only playing $15 this week, this should be the one contest you're playing in. Well, mine and Pat Mayo's, okay? Because Pat has no rake because he's real big deal. All right, let's get to pricing thoughts. But before we do, come check out my site, degen75.com. I can assure you it is the fastest growing and best community in all of PGA DFS. All the toxicity and negative shit you see out there and people wanting to forget what PGA DFS is about, which is having fun, having a process, and occasionally binking a nice one. That is what our community is about. I highly encourage you to come check it out. I have tools that are different than everybody else. I have a community that is different than everybody else. If you sign up for my newsletter, you can try it out for a week for free. No strings attached. So just go get in the newsletter, which is in the description of this video. Try it out for a week. But I will warn you, if you try it out for a week, you're just going to end up staying. So you can just sign up in the first place, dickie. All right, let's get to pricing thoughts. And let's face it, Scotty Scheffler has broken the matrix. Scotty did it. This is, I don't know why. I don't know why they did this. For as long as I can remember, at least for the past 5 years, the min price has always been what? It's always been what? It's always been $6,000, right? Outside of like weird contests where it's like, where there's guaranteed points like the Tour Championship and stuff like that. Anytime it's a full field event, you always see 6,000 as the minimum. What is it this week? What are we doing? I mean, I kind of love it. I'm not upset about it. I'm just surprised by it. We now have $5,500 golfers, and we got a lot of them, right? And what this does is this allows DraftKings to now go price up these guys. If you would have told me there was going to be 7 guys over $10,000 at a major, I would have shit a brick. Because what do we always see at majors? We see softer pricing because all the plebs come play, right? I want to go play. I like that Ricky Fowler kid. I got a feeling about him. All those guys are playing this week, right? So when those guys come out, DraftKings wants to make softer pricing to encourage those guys to play more lineups so it's not so intimidating to them. So when you see 7 guys over 10,000, it's shocking. Furthermore, 3 guys over 11,000, I can't remember the last time that's ever happened. And then 1 guy at 12,500, if you just looked at those prices, you would say that is the tightest pricing in the history of PGA DFS on DraftKings, and you would be correct. But now that they have these $5,500 guys, and it's not just about the $5,500 guys, now all the guys that used to be $6,500, $6,600 that you would want to play, now they're all $6,000, right? You got, Ramsey, old Ramsey, the Pharaoh, right? He's doing very well at the Scottish Open. He is a legitimate play, $5,900. This week he was, I don't remember what he was, $6,500 or something like that, right? So what DraftKings is saying is, all right, you want to play Scotty this week? You better get to be friends with some slimy European bastards down in the 5,000s, right? You want to stack a Scotty and a Rory together? All right, you got 6,400 left for your last 4 spots. Figure it out. So they're saying that you're either going to play some slime balls or you better start getting away from the studs. And I love it. I love it. When you see more dynamic pricing like this, right? A wider gap in the pricing, it leads to a bigger advantage for people that know what the hell they're doing. So if you're upset about this, well, then you're probably an idiot that sucks at PGA DFS. This is awesome. This is great. This is going to punish people that are going to go triple stack these assholes, right? Because you could probably do something like, I don't know, can you do a Rahm, a Xander, and a Hovland, right? Yeah, you easily can. You still got 6,200. Shit, you probably even do more than that. Instead of Hovland, let's go throw Rory in there. Hell, you could even do that. Look, you can go Rahm, Rory, Xander, but you're going to be playing 3 of the slappiest slapdicks, right? So, and I don't think you ever want to build a lineup where you're counting on 3 just complete jabronis to get it done for you, right? So this is awesome. This is fun. I love this. Thank you for doing this, DraftKings. I hope they keep doing this. I hope they keep doing it. I wouldn't mind seeing Scotty Scheffler 13,100 if he's going to keep playing like a god, okay? All right, let's go over the prices. Just off the top here, Scheffler, Rory, Rahm as 1, 2, 3, all over 11,000, all accurate, all fair. I think Rory, a lot of people are probably, especially if he holds on and wins the Scottish, or even just doesn't implode in the last round. I think that Rory is going to probably be a little more popular than Scotty just because you get that $600 savings. From there, Cam Smith is priced up. I love Cam Smith this week. I've been targeting him forever, but at 10,700, I think you're going to get him and Brooks. I feel like they're just a little overpriced. People are not going to want Cam Smith or Brooks Koepka to be the first guy in their lineup. Maybe the second guy in their lineup, but they don't want it to be the first. And if they're the second guy in your lineup, you're already getting in a tough place salary-wise, right? From there, Xander and Hovland and Cantlay, all very fairly priced in my opinion, especially with these cheap options. You could literally start a lineup with Xander, Hovland, Cantlay, and you really don't even got to punt that much, right? You could go toss one $5,500 guy in there, and you can get back up to the 7,000s easily, right? So I think those guys are all really good values, and if I know anything about values, people like to play them, right? Well, there is the whole thing where Cantlay fucking sucks at majors. Ricky Fowler at 9,800. You know, he's kind of spinning his wheels at the Scottish Open. I'll be surprised to see about him. Not a soul is going to play Jordan Spieth. He missed the cut. Might be something wrong with him. Give me all the Jordan Spieth when no one wants to play him. Morikawa is going to be popular. All the narratives fit. He's already an Open champion. I think he might be the highest owned guy. People will love having him as their second guy in their lineup. I mean, he's just your warm Care Bear blanket this week, which is hilarious because Morikawa has been probably the most inconsistent good player so far this year. Fitzpatrick is probably going to be low owned too, just coming off the missed cut. Tyrrell Hatton at 9,400. I'll just go ahead and tell you right now, I think him and Fleetwood might be the two highest owned guys this week. You could make them the second or the third guy in your lineup. And when Tyrrell Hatton's the third guy, Hatton is the third guy in your lineup, you just love it. You love it, Bob. Dustin Johnson, Shane Lowry, Cam Young. I just can't imagine this is going to be a very popular range right here. People will just find the couple extra $100 and get to Hatton and Fleetwood, right? Decky at 89. People are going to love jamming Decky in as their third guy in their lineup. Bryson seems overpriced at 8,800. I mean, he might be able to do it. I mean, he could. This is a course that can be bombed and gouged if you are accurate. Okay, you got to be accurate. If he's going to bomb them long and straight, he literally probably could be the best fit at this course because he does have. I mean, he really is not that bad around the greens, and he's definitely a good putter. JT's price is up a little bit. No one's going to play him. No one's going to play Burns. Man, this is just going to be a dead range right here. Thomas, Burns, Homa, M. No one's going to play him. Finau at 8,200 seems ridiculous. I know Finau sucked balls so far this year, but it's Tony Finau. Long-term talent. He has no business being 8,200. He should be every bit of 9,200. Tom Kim, I would have said nobody's going to play, but he's played incredible at the Scottish Open. There might be a thing with him and a link-style course, so I think Tom Kim might be popular. Rose seems broke. Adam Scott's a whore who missed the cut at the Scottish Open. I think, the 7K range, people, there's just such good players here. And these can be the fourth guy in your lineup, right? So I think you're going to see Jason Day, Minwoo Lee, Keegan Bradley, Corey Connors. Everybody loves Patrick Reed at majors. This is Neiman. These are really good players you're getting for 7,500 to 7,900, right? You can just build such good lineups this week if you're willing to have somebody like Xander as the first guy in your lineup, right? You can go grab Xander, you can grab Kawa, and then look, you can just go grab all those good players. Look, you can go grab a Keegan Bradley, Patrick Reed, Joaquin Neiman, and Russell Henley, right? And you have 6 very good golfers in your lineup, right? So I think that's going to be tempting for people because it drops pretty quick once you get to the low 7Ks, right? Let's see, anybody, Denny McCarthy down to 7,300. He could play here, right? A lot of these Euro guys, the big debate is how good are the Euro guys versus the American guys? The American guys are better, right? But I also think that Euro guys are probably a little bit more creative, and in a link style course, I think that's useful. Oh, look at Louis. God, if you told me Louis would be 6,900, nobody was going to play him, I wouldn't believe you. But how the mighty have fallen. Bobby Mack at 6,800, mega chalk incoming there, mega chalk. The Bjork Dorks are getting there at the Scottish Open. He'll be mega chalk because him and Bobby Mack can be the 5th or 6th guy in your lineup, and you're loving that lineup, right? Oh, Thierry and Anderson, he's playing pretty well. I'm telling you, these guys are playing well at the Scottish Open. They're already over there. They're acclimated. They're playing this week. And I really do think that Scottish Open course is going to be very comparable to what we're going to see. The Renaissance course that they're playing the Scottish Open is going to be very comparable to what we're going to see at Royal Liverpool, right? A lot of the same skill set I think you're going to need, right? Guido, he's playing better this week than I thought. Anybody down here really surprising me with their price? Henrik Stenson's back? Are you kidding me? I haven't seen that. Henrik Stenson. Oh my God, I missed Henrik. He was. I used to play him way too much. Okay, who else do we got here? Matt Wallace is actually playing pretty decent for the first time in forever. I never mind him at a course where that I think that you're going to have to grind a little bit. Anybody else? Rosner, he made the cut at 5,800. How do you not like having him as the last guy in your lineup? Sharma, for some reason he's making me crave some Mediterranean food. Let's see. Oh, North Fence is here, but North Fence, he missed the cut, so screw that guy. Darren Clark, gross. Let's see. Alex Fitzpatrick, the other Fitzpatrick. All right, it gets pretty gross down here. I'm trying to see, who is the last reasonable guy that I would actually consider playing. Oh, Charles Schwartzel. I love him. I'm not going to play him. I'm just saying I love him as a person. Him and his big old teeth. Bing Griffin at 6,000. Viable, right? Seam, I think, made the cut, but, man, he fell apart. Oh, Ramsey's the second, right? You got to take the Pharaoh. Yeah. I don't think you're going to want to dive down below. The 5K guys seem really gross. But because of that, I think that it makes some of these low 6K guys viable. And if you're willing to grab one of these guys, it really frees up what you can do at the top, right? All right, guys, I think that's it. What an awesome week this is going to be. Remember to like and subscribe. Remember, you can also go get into everything over on Twitter by and retweeting all of my Open Championship shows. And don't forget to check out this schedule. If you like me, you're going to get a lot of content. For all of you that hate watch me, it's going to be a long mother father week for you. But for everybody else, I want you guys to be around. Come see my shows. Be at all the live ones I'll be doing plenty of giveaways this week, building lineups with you. I'll see you next time, you mother fathers. Enjoy this outro.